from an elderly woman.
Let me talk quiet.
How tough is it?
A lot of times, that's all of his donors and special interests out there.
As you guys can see there, that's Trump basically shushing Jeb Bush, because he knows that the only thing that come out of Jeb Bush's mouth are what big corporations want these politicians to say. Okay, and guys, I'm doing this video as a reality check, okay, because you know we get caught up in a lot of the politics, but we don't ever get caught up in the why, right? And ultimately, in the day, guys, like I've been telling you, the why always has to do with the money. You have to follow the money, right? And I'm saying this, guys, because I just want to remind people, as we're judging the Biden administration, we need to be thinking about the why, right? And this comes as, you know, there's an article from CNBC that comes out and basically details that Biden's close advisors have ties to big business and Wall Street, with some making millions. Okay, so let's talk about these disclosures real quick. President Joe Biden's close advisors have ties to big businesses and Wall Street, with some making millions of dollars in their careers leading up to entering the White House, new financial disclosures show. The senior Biden aides listed in the disclosures include Chief of Staff Ron Klain, Deputy Chief of Staff Jen O'Malley Dillon, Senior Advisor Mike Donilon, White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator Jeffrey Zients, and National Economic Council Director Brian Deese. These disclosures show that many of the president's closest aides have deep ties to the business world and have made more money in their past corporate careers than previously known. These disclosures were provided by the White House to CNBC early Saturday morning after requesting the documents a day earlier. None of these positions were confirmed by the Senate. Many of these advisors have previous ties to Biden's campaign or former President Barack Obama's administration. A White House spokesperson did not return a follow-up request for comment. Of course they don't, because they don't want to talk about this. Here's the thing. This article basically details how bought and sold and how connected Biden's closest advisors are to big business and Wall Street, okay? And the point of this video, guys, again, is a reality check, okay? Because I've told you guys this a lot of times, right? That if you want to see a politician do a trick, right, you just buy them, right? And a lot of people, particularly conservatives, you know, are of the belief that, you know, election integrity is our biggest issue to date. And I have to respectfully disagree with that. And the reason why, guys, is because no matter who you vote for, the policies that are going to get enacted are based off of who paid for those politicians. Biden raised about $74 million from Wall Street during his campaign. You know who the only politician in recent history that have raised more than Biden? Hillary. Hillary is the only politician that has raised more than Biden in recent history from Wall Street, right? Biden's Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, has also been bought and sold by Wall Street. Okay, you know who's been helped out the most by these stimulus packages? Wall Street. And guys, Matt Gaetz, who's a Republican, has been very, very vocal about this issue, because what has happened to our democracy, guys, is that it has been taken over by crony capitalism. And I want you guys to listen to Matt Gaetz at CPAC last year talk about the influence of money in politics and why he himself has sworn off big corporate donations. Let's take a listen.
But being elite comes with a certain responsibility, and our fundamental obligation is to tell the truth. The upcoming election is America's time for choosing capitalism versus socialism. But hear me now. We will not be able to successfully defend crony or corrupt capitalism. Honest capitalism, what we cherish, is under attack every day, not just by the Bernie bros and Antifa and the radical left, but by special interests and PACs inside the swamp of Washington, D.C. You know, sometimes feels like it doesn't even really matter which political party wins the election, because in Congress, the winner is too often the special interest that shuttles around the most campaign donations.
All right, guys, so that type of speech right there is what I would like to see more from the Republican Party, okay? And the reason why, guys, is because you can't believe anything that these politicians say because they have been bought and sold. They've been paid to say what they're saying. And this is why I think we have to be careful in our politics when we want to get behind a certain candidate, right? Because those candidates that we get behind, those candidates that we cheerlead for, have often been bought and sold, right? We don't know what these people believe, right? As we saw with Biden and the teachers unions, we know that teachers unions was one of the largest donors to the Biden administration, right? In terms of unions, I think $40+ million. Guess what they did as soon as Biden got in the White House? He basically tried to delay schools being open because teachers didn't want to go back to school. Okay? What incentive would Biden have to keep schools closed when the science obviously points to the direction that opening schools are safe? What other incentive would Biden have? The incentive is that he had been paid for by the teachers unions and he was looking out for his buddies. And guys, this exists all across our politics, guys. We live in a society in which crony capitalism wins. And I'm telling you guys this because I just want people to be aware that despite, the back and forth between the Republicans and the Democrats, the real battle is not between them, guys. The real battle is between corporate interests. It's about who can do the most tricks for the people that are paid for them to be in Washington, not about the people that have voted for them to be in Washington. Okay? And guys, a lot of you guys are probably listening to this are like, okay, so does that mean that everything is hopeless? Not necessarily, right? What that basically means is that, I would like to see more Republicans like Matt Gaetz. I would like to see more Republicans who are standing on their beliefs and are not necessarily standing on the beliefs of those who have bought and sold them. But also at the same time, we have to keep in mind, guys, who are going to be the winners, right? In this type of society that we currently have, where our politicians are bought and sold, right? The winners are always going to be those who are rich, right? And because of that, guys, it is important to, to always be thinking about who's benefiting the most, which means that a lot of you guys, should be investing in the stock market. Because at the end of the day, those companies are going to win. They're going to win at the end of the day, right? And, the Biden administration, guys, as you can see, has taken a lot of money from Wall Street. And at the end of the day, that's who they're going to work for. So when Biden does something that you disagree with, or even if you do agree with it, right? Keep in mind who has paid for him, who has paid for his campaign, who has paid for this administration. And I think, we're at the point, guys, where, when these type of disclosures come out and you see all these people getting paid millions of dollars, that's in his closest circle, he hasn't surrounded himself with any normal, average, everyday people. He hasn't even surrounded himself with any small business owners. It's one thing if Biden surrounded himself with small business owners, people who, have, who may be millionaires, but have become millionaires based off of, hard, honest work. And I'm not saying those people haven't done hard, honest work. But you can't expect me to believe that Biden's working for the people when he surrounded himself with people that are not normal people. He surrounded himself with people that represent corporate interest. Okay? And this is something that Trump had talked about. He talked about how, these politicians are bought and sold. How he has bought and sold politicians. So, I just want to do this video as just a small little reality check for people when we're talking about politics and to understand why these politicians do what they do. It's all about the money, right? And when, we live in a society where everything is about the money, make sure that you are taking advantage of who's going to benefit the most in society, right? Make sure that you understand who's going to benefit the most and position yourself accordingly. Because this administration, guys, is just, again, another administration that has been bought and sold by big corporate interests that do not work for me and you. They don't. They work for themselves and they work for big money, right? And I like that Matt Gaetz has talked about this, and we have not given Matt Gaetz enough credit. Matt Gaetz have not got enough recognition for the fact that he has sworn off big money. At the very least, you may not like his policies, but at least you know what he believes is not influenced by what a corporation has told him to do or what a corporation has told him to say. So let me know what you guys think about this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.